right. Well, welcome everyone to another Dr. Perry's podcast. And today we have an exciting guest here with Joe Miranda. And he's an educator, an innovator, a professional that's helped many people over the years transform their lives and make them better. And through education, perseverance, and definitely a purpose. So we're going to be talking to him today. And he is the founder of Dream Trainer. That's an educational format, platform focused on helping students succeed in high-stakes exams like the TOEFL. Yep, I said it, the TOEFL and beyond. So please welcome Joseph Miranda. Joe,
hello.
Thank you for coming on, thank you for talking with our guests today. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot of information to share with them. And well, I guess we got to know, who are you? Give us a little bit about your background and what you do.
Well, I teach TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language, and I've been doing that for over almost 2 decades now.
Come on, that's easy. TOEFL, it's just an exam, right? What's so hard about that?
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the biggest things that most students experience, the sense of it being easy, it being, I already succeed, I know how to do well in the English language, many people already working, but then the challenges of the exam usually overwhelm students. Takes them sometimes a few failures, then they realize they need expert help, and that's what I've been doing for almost 20 years.
So what kind of help do they need? I mean, how is it that you help them? Do you read to them? What do you do? You give
Sometimes.
You give them another quiz, or what do you do?
Yeah. So, well, even what you said, like, do you read to them? I think the main thing is that when anybody enters the exam, they're going to have a unique profile of where their issues are. Right? So some people struggle with reading, some people struggle with speaking because the TOEFL has reading, listening, writing, and speaking. And everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. So usually when they come to me, it's because they haven't been able to understand, why am I smart? Why am I studying? And why is my score the same? And then in that case, you diagnose and, you see the same kind of issues repeat themselves. And then you iteratively train back and forth to improve the skill. And with Dream Trainer, what I've done is the idea is that what I do individually, right? You see it everywhere in technology. You can actually take that, and now the whole point is my framework's putting it into AI so that what I do for one individual, you can scale for thousands. Because the way I coach somebody on the speaking because they stutter, where before it's like one-on-one for 1 to 2 hours, now you can train AI, which is what I spent the last 1.5 years doing, developing Dream Trainer, so that you can get that issue, build the skill and the knowledge, and then suddenly it's not an issue anymore. So that's just what I've been doing.
So as I listen to you, and I'm sure my listeners are out there, they go, okay, so Dream Trainer is AI. So why can't I just go on ChatGPT, and why can't I just use, other open platforms and just learn TOEFL? Or what is it that's so unique about your program that makes our listeners want to go see it?
Well, I think the good thing is that a lot of people probably, if they need help, already go to ChatGPT, already go to Claude, already go to Gemini. And I think what people may not kind of have a sense of is that all of that is trained information. So the AI is trained on just what was on the internet and what is available publicly, and kind of copyright infringement right as well. And so it's this static information that is taken from across the internet. And so when someone comes in and they always go into ChatGPT, help my speaking, help me improve and speak more clearly, usually there's always a sense where, well, this isn't quite it. This is way too advanced, or I don't even feel like this is specific to the TOEFL, even though I asked it this. Because the AI is just generating general information.
So is it specific, not necessarily to the TOEFL, but not specific to them?
Yeah, both. So the TOEFL, it just understands from its database, and then it tries to help, but it's not really picking frameworks and ideas and concepts from a database of TOEFL questions, because it didn't exist online.
Well, let's back up for a minute, because I'm sure we got some listeners that are just starting their journey, and they're sitting there going, what's TOEFL? Why do I need TOEFL? I know how to speak English. What's so important about TOEFL? Why is this test mandated or by most programs or international programs? to take it? What are they looking for?
I think that's a really good question. I think the foundation is, the test of English as a foreign language. And the purpose is to have this standardized process of understanding everyone's English level for academic settings. So the TOEFL is global, but it's very focused on the United States. People are probably familiar with the IELTS, which is more the UK, and maybe you even see it in Australia. So the TOEFL has about 2 million test takers per year. Most of them are adult professionals or students who want to be dentists, who want to be lawyers, teachers, physical therapists, enter into universities. And it's made by a nonprofit called ETS, right? Same one that makes the GRE for us, the SAT. So the idea behind it is just universally, every institution, Tufts, everyone needs some kind of standard saying, is this person's English level good enough to succeed in my courses or with patients or with clients? And so there's like just trust given to the TOEFL. And just like a little side story that's interesting, and it's part of the process of how I try to help and teach to actually build the skills for the TOEFL and beyond, because it's changed the TOEFL maybe every 4 or 5 years because institutions stop trusting the TOEFL because so many students have gamed it. So they have these strategies.
And what's the strategies that they use? Because I see it. Because I see some students that do really, really well on the TOEFL, and I have them come in for an interview, and I can't even understand them.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the powerful things, because essentially what happens is the TOEFL has tried consistently to eliminate that. But just the way it's structured, it can't. So what it does is now, for example, let's say the speaking, right? The speaking section is meant to show everybody this student's level is sufficient enough to communicate well in any setting, right? You get a certain band score. Right now it's 1 to 6. Everyone's going to get, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they're at a 5 or 6, this person can speak with anybody. But the challenge is you have 2 question types, right? One is listen and repeat. You hear a sentence, you repeat a sentence.
Right.
And then another one is
But you may not understand what that sentence means.
Exactly. And also in Take an Interview, you have these questions that are kind of generic. Do you prefer to study alone or in a group? Do you prefer to work out outside or inside? So they're trying to create these questions that show general ability to express yourself. But you can really overtrain and overfit for it so that when you go beyond that, you could study the maybe 20 to 50 questions that they generally ask, memorize them, and then everything else you're kind of lost in because you focus so much on this one thing. And that's why there's pushback, right? TOEFL's still doing well, still dominant, but has to be careful because institutions are saying that very thing.
Right. Well, I know that, people always ask me, well, my TOEFL score is low or it's high or whatever the case may be. Does that mean I'm going to get in? And it's not the end all be all. It is one of the components, one of the variables that we assess an applicant to figure out whether they can be successful, whether they be in the institution, will they be successful, and be able to move forward. So let's go back to how you say you use AI. So I take it that you must assess. Let's just back up. So I go to dreamtrainer.com, right?
The dreamtrainer.com.
Very important. Thedreamtrainer.com.
Yeah.
I go on that website, and I'm sure you're going to ask me a series of questions. And then from those questions, you're going to come up with along with your developed AI program, you're going to come up with a personalized program for me.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because right now you can imagine, Dream Trainer is a corporation that I created as a startup. So startups are kind of proving a model, like a little pilot that can then be invested in to scale and get much larger. So right now we're developing what's called an MVP, which is already able to help students, but it's like a minimum viable product. So what you described is that MVP, which is, 6 months away. But students are right now improving because of what we call our pre-MVP, so they can get early access. So it trains them on everything. So what they do is, the most important thing I think is really just partner with me. So when you sign up, and that's the whole mission of Dream Trainer, there's an expert who's succeeded and done it before, who basically partners with you until you pass, and that's me. So when you sign up, the first thing you do is you get a welcome video that says, start here with how to study, because that's usually where students struggle, because the TOEFL for the average student is going to be a process of usually 60 to maybe 300 hours of study. So they're really going to school before they're going to school. And that's kind of the pain, because they have to accept that.
But you're teaching them the process, so they're not spending 300 to 600 hours of wasted time.
Exactly, exactly. And so the idea is, first, if you're going to do something like attend a university, you have somebody who already structured a course for you, right? Because it's like a 4-year, 2-year, 3-year process. So the first thing you do is you structure your studies. So that's the first thing that differentiates us, because everyone who comes is looking for the top score. So they're going to have to invest that. So it's, okay, how many hours can you study a week? What did you get on a mock test, which we have, or a real test? How many points do you have to improve? So we know, because I've been doing this for over 10 years, I've helped over 10,000 students succeed. I've seen a lot of edge cases.
Right.
So I know how many hours it takes from you to get where you are to where you need to go. And then that's where you say, okay, I have to study these hours. I'm going to study this many hours a week. So I'll need this many weeks to pass. And then from that,
but it's studying specific things,
exactly,
tailored to you.
Exactly.
Because you might be strong in this area. You don't need to spend as much time there, but you need to spend it more over here.
Exactly.
And then, so you're monitoring it, and along with the AI to help you monitor it. And then you're intervening when you need to intervene.
Exactly. And I think that's the really thing that I'm most proud of and most care to scale, because I think everyone, sometimes there's a loss of, we're all adult professionals, and we're all entering our profession to not only support ourselves economically in our mission, but other adults, right? Dentistry, helping individuals to have health. Me helping people to have economic mobility and succeed. Speak well with their patients, feel confident, and actually have the TOEFL be something that they feel proud of when they pass, so they have confidence on the other side, rather than, I just forced myself to pass this, and now I'm just as scared as I was before because I don't feel confident speaking or reading or things like that.
Well, it sounds interesting. It sounds like it's helpful for a lot of people. You said you've done over 10,000 international students.
Yes.
What is there any particular country or any particular language that struggles more with the TOEFL, or is that pretty much universal across the board? I'm just curious.
It's kind of interesting. I would say that different countries may struggle with different sections.
Okay, like give me for instance.
Well, for example,
I know you're generalizing, and you're not saying that, just because you're from Russia or Ukraine or India, that you're going to struggle with that. You may be totally different, because you're going to be evaluating that as an individual person, and then figuring out what that program is going to be for them. But in general terms, what are the trends that you see from certain countries?
Well, it's like everyone probably has a sense of, even wherever they're from, what they did focus on and didn't. So like, let's say you look at India, so my experience has been, English is spoken in India, and especially if you study. So often I see sometimes there can be a real pain, because you speak well. So your speaking is strong in everyday life. You're reading, listening, writing, maybe not as much. But then when you take the TOEFL, it's a different standard or expectation. And so it can be very painful to feel this natural sense with the language. And then suddenly, instead of scoring like a 5 on the speaking for the dental program, they score a 3 or a 3.5.
Right.
So it depends, but that might be the issue.
Okay.
In Asia, maybe there's a little bit more focus on being comfortable with the reading and the listening.
Okay.
Right? And maybe the speaking and the writing then become a challenge. So I kind of see wherever the country is from, how much English was surrounding is where they feel comfortable, where they can be overconfident,
I gotcha.
and then feel the pain of needing multiple failures. So I kind of see like the psychology of it, but that's what I hope that kind of answers the question.
No, it does. It does, because I would assume that each country has its different issues and different problems, and as each
Closer to
individual.
English, farther to English, Chinese, Japanese versus French, German. You don't see that many students in European countries because there's so much similarity. But
Right.
even though it is necessary there too.
I mean, I find it amazing that, foreign dentists come here wanting to create a new life or escape their existing life in a lot of cases, and then have to pass through all of this. And it's amazing, their journey. And hopefully some of this helps people.
Yes.
And that's the goal, right?
And encouragement. And also I think sometimes, I'm very connected with the human element, but I think it can be encouraging to know that there are two professionals, or if I may call myself one as well,
of course.
here who actually do care. So it's like, you're not alone. It's not, because sometimes that could be the issue, right? You're coming into a new place, you're lonely, maybe the setting or the context, you feel like, is this a good decision? Am I wanted here, or something like that? But there are people who are kind of fighting for that.
And you also mentioned that, some people may be overconfident, and a lot of people, they I don't need this. I'm just going to take the test, and then they take the test and they go, hey, I'm having trouble, especially with the new scoring system of 1 through 6 now. And now it's like, why am I scoring so badly? So
especially for the writing. I've seen
oh
that a
yeah.
lot.
I mean, that can go crazy. So why did you pick international? What was your reasoning behind picking international students to help them?
Well, I guess it was a little bit more like that community picked me.
Oh, okay.
Right. This is kind of like a funny way to say it, but I guess my background, actually, I graduated with a degree in chemistry. And when I graduated with a degree in chemistry, I worked in the lab. But I didn't like working in the lab because there were no people. So then I was like, well, what do I do with this degree? So I thought maybe I'll teach. But if I go into that, do I really want to be teaching full time? So I did a summer program where it was teaching English as a second language. And I kind of fell in love, and I fell into the TOEFL because it's almost like an experimental laboratory for education, because there's so much urgency. That's why I fell in love with it. Like, urgency. Everyone wants to pass yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody has to pass now, because if not, their savings, the application cycle, the 6-figure job on the other side. So I think it's really powerful to have that kind of student who's that engaged and that.
And you want them to be successful as quickly as they possibly can and have an understanding of it. I mean, a lot of people take the TOEFL exam and they take it multiple times, and that becomes costly doing it. Or they say, geez, I did the 300 or 600 hours, but they did it wrong. Or they concentrated on something that they didn't really need to concentrate on, and they're missing it.
Yeah.
And they get frustrated with that and say, oh, I can't do it. I'm stupid, or I'm whatever. And it's not. It's just everybody has different learning curves.
Yeah.
To figure it out.
Yeah.
What do you find most fulfilling? Or let's put it this way: what's been the biggest challenge? Like, give me a student, a short story about a student, because I'm sure there's a listener out there that has a very similar story, where you were so proud of them that they were able to do it, that you're like, in the back of your mind, you were kind of thinking, well, maybe they won't make it. I don't know. But they surprised you after going through your course.
Well, I guess there are a few. And one of the things that I say, because I think you talked about like challenge and then the student that was most inspiring. And I would say that every student that I work with is inspiring. And that's why I kind of stay connected, because I always think there's some encouragement, because it's one thing to become a professional. And then it's another thing to become a professional all over again in a new language, in a new culture.
Oh, yeah.
Which I always felt surprised that there's not that kind of respect, because that's actually quite a certain level of intellect.
Oh, yeah.
And drive.
And perseverance.
Yeah. So I would say like every student gives me that, but I remember there was one student, it was a few years ago, who was a woman who came to the United States. It was for pharmacy, where she wanted, because there's a lot of people
Yeah.
who take it for pharmacy,
Yeah.
dentistry,
All
physical
health
therapy.
professions. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was from India, and her young child and her husband were in India, kind of supporting her so that she could come here.
Oh.
And there was a lot of pressure, so she had to pass the exam. So we worked closely together within like a certain deadline, or things would kind of collapse. She pushed herself and she succeeded. And it was a really powerful moment where I felt, the power of that intervention when it's necessary. Two people coming together to create something. And so that was one of many, many, many success stories. But that is a story that comes to mind when you ask that.
That's inspiring. I mean, especially, there's a lot of pressure. I mean, if you got family pressures, or you have one shot or one opportunity to make it happen, and you're trying to be the best you possibly can, it is tough. I do commend a lot of the people, and I'm going through the cycle right now, reading all the applications, so I see all the stories. So, how does confidence play in the communication role of TOEFL?
I think it's everywhere. It's a very big thing. And it's kind of funny because what I teach is, if you speak and you speak the same thing with what you would feel as confident, you'll get a higher score. So for example, you can move from a 4 on the speaking to a 4.5, or a 5 to a 5.5, simply with confidence. Because confidence kind of means you pronounce the sounds a little bit more clearly because there's energy behind them. You speak a little bit faster. You have a little bit more volume, and you have more intonation because you're focusing on things. And also, it's not perfect.
No.
So you have AI, you have a human grader. So just moving, even though you may not make perfect sense, we'll see this. There'll be signals of, oh, this is fluency. So
but isn't that part of the learning process? I mean, you bring that confidence in, you make your mistakes, you verbalize those mistakes, but as you're verbalizing them, you hear them, and then you correct yourself.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. And if you don't come out of that, you have to come out of your comfort zone at some point. You can't fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah. And I want to hit something too, because I think you said something really powerful, because we all, especially, TOEFL learners, but everything, like, fail confidently. Because if you fail without confidence, more things will happen to compound that, make it worse. And so just failing confidently means you'll do your best with what you have. And then at the end, if you do make a mistake, you'll learn from it, and you'll go again. So at least that way you're maximizing your results.
All right, Joseph, let's say my listeners are sitting there going, okay, I like what he's selling.
I hope so.
I've tried everything on my own. I've bought every book that's out there. I've listened to all the YouTubes. I've listened to, Chat GPT and all the other ones. And okay, I kind of like his approach about it. Give me AI, give me that human element. I have someone I can actually go to that's going to keep me accountable to what it is.
And help
me, right, to be successful. That's the bottom line. This has got to be expensive. How much is this going to cost me?
Well, that's kind of like the whole business model, because one of the things that I really wanted to do, and I spent a lot of time in making this a venture backable company, is kind of the business model around how do you take expertise and scale it so that you have a system that can support growth. And so it's just $147 a month. And so some students will need it shorter, some students will need it longer. And that was actually huge and took a lot of time to architect, without losing the ability, without a paywall or extra pay, to always be able, as much as necessary, to get expert help. So some people don't need any expert help, and some people need 2 or 3 sessions a day. So the whole system is that one intervention with one human, like human, me and somebody, feeds the whole system, so that other learners benefit from it. And that's how you create scale. And so what I want to say is, it's really important to remember the test is, $275. Every exam is 250 plus. So the whole thing was to make it less than that. So the mind should be really easy of, If I'm not ready for the exam, then that's pretty much a guarantee that maybe I'm not going to get my money's worth, unless you really feel
So what's
confident.
the average
Average?
individual out there that would, how many months are they normally enrolled in your program
Wow.
on an
Well,
average?
right now,
Yeah.
we're seeing about 2 months because the students that are coming in are studying the system that aggressively that they're improving really quickly. And usually I saw it take 5 months. So we're
So
seeing
it's
students
what you put
improve.
into it too.
It's not just that, it's like the system works
Right.
and it's what you put into it. So people are improving 2.5 times faster. So what I would say is, like I always say, you take the test on Friday, you study on Saturday, because you only stop when you see your score. Don't lose the momentum,
Right.
don't lose the energy. And if you commit to studying at least 12 hours a week, less than 12 hours, it's like almost a scientific fact. Like if you take the braces out earlier, the teeth are not going to conform and stay. It's just biological. If you study less than 12 hours, your brain just doesn't retain. So
Right.
12 hours plus, you study every week, you'll see your results in 1 to 3 months. And students who need more help, that's when the average goes up to maybe 5 or 6 months. But
So it's basically 1.5 to 2 hours a day or so.
yeah, I would say, like I like to say, to make it clean, like 2 hours a day, 2+ hours a day. You find that time and you can find it in pockets, and something is better than nothing when you're building up to it.
Right.
But that's really what generates
And
the
that's
results.
what's going to give you success
Yeah,
over
yeah,
and over again. So
guaranteed.
your model is created in the sense that you have an aggregate of people that are that belong to your to
To the
the
course.
Dream Trainer.
Yeah, the
And
TOEFL Max course on Dream Trainer.
right.
Yeah.
And some people need more human intervention, some need less human intervention. But you have different modules that, depending on what they want or how far they want to go, they can go further into it if they're advancing into it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the fascinating things too is just like, you can think that that's what the AI is trained for.
Right.
So the experience is, as a student, we just have one interface. Here I am, and here's my level. Let's say it's a 3.5 on the writing, and I work on this one thing, and it keeps helping me, and it gradually, every few hours, it's like, look at that, I'm now at a 4, now at a 4.5. So you don't need many modules. You just need that one interface, and then it works on you with that issue,
Right.
and then right there in real time.
And then it helps you progress
Yeah.
as need be.
Yeah, and you see it and you feel it.
Okay. What is the 3 top TOEFL preparation tips you can give me?
Yeah, that is a good question. And I would say the first one is consistency.
When you say consistency, what?
You have to study regularly. If you
Okay.
if you are watching and the TOEFL is challenging, if it's not challenging, you don't need support or help. You have that foundation. But if you need help, it has to be 12 hours a week. It has to be consistent. If we take long breaks, we lose our momentum. And I've helped students who for 4 or 5 years have been on that loop of, I study 2-3 weeks hard, I don't get the result, I lose motivation. I study 2 to 3 weeks hard for years. So consistency is the magic.
Okay.
I think the second thing is really simple, a notebook. The TOEFL is complex. There's like a lot of parts to it. So if you're not noting, I had this trouble,
Right.
this really helped me, the next day you study something else, is gone. And the third thing I would say is review is more important than new practice. I mean, just
to retain, to make sure you learned it.
Yeah. So rather than many questions, a few questions understood very deeply.
Okay. All right. What was the hardest part about building the Dream Trainer?
It's funny. It's like the site is the Dream Trainer, but the
Yeah.
company is Dream Trainer, because the
Right.
reality that Dream Trainer is a good
Right.
name. It was taken, but we'll get it soon. But the idea is, the hardest part, I think, is the team, because even this interaction, I
Right.
feel grateful for the connection that we've had, the back and forth that we had, because finding people who are mission aligned, that care about the end success of the individual
Mhm.
above everything else, is not very common. And then who, in addition to that, are actually highly skilled professionals. That is tough. That was tough, but I'm really grateful that 6 months to a year, I've assembled a really good team to make this work.
Oh, that's great. Let's see what else we got. So, how do you get your clients?
Ooh, well, social media.
Social media.
That's kind of like the easy one.
So, are you considered a YouTube? Or what
Like
are you?
YouTuber?
What are you?
I guess so. I guess so.
All right,
So
that's not the right term anymore, right? We don't say
no,
YouTuber.
YouTuber is good. Influencer.
Influencer,
YouTuber.
yeah, okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
TikToker, influencer.
All
But
right.
that's basically it. And I think, it's a mixed bag. I'm sure you see it as a professional, and everybody here is
Mhm.
going to feel it, because as they become dentists and are practicing in the United States or wherever they
Oh,
practice,
they're going to be using it.
yeah, not only that, but their patients are going to be coming in saying, well, I saw this, I heard
I
this.
want that.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they do it now. They
Yeah,
do
but
it.
so social media, that presence has been what's grown.
Do you? My next question, I know my listeners out there are going to be asking is, well, okay, I bought into it. I figure I'm going to be on it 2 or 3 months. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to stay committed to it. Do you come with a guarantee? Are you like
Yeah.
a?
Yeah, it's a funny word. Yeah, guaranteed.
I don't know. I mean, they want to know. I mean, because a lot of a lot of people spend a lot of money on different things, and they want to know, hey, is this going to be helpful? Not going to be helpful for me? Do I need to spend that money? And there's a lot of experts out there that say, hey, this is what you got to do. I mean, that's the main reason I started doing the Dr. Perry's podcast, because I had so many people telling me what Dr. Perry was looking for.
Yeah.
So I figured, well, why doesn't Dr. Perry just tell you what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier
Yeah.
than having everybody else ask it. So, is there a guarantee with it, or what's? Maybe that's not the right word, but
it is the perfect word.
Okay.
I think, basically, for every individual that registers who commits to that 12 plus hours and actually goes all in, it's a guarantee. I've had 10,000 success stories. I've been doing this for nearly 20 years. There's nothing that anybody has that I can't help with. And so they just need to commit, and they will succeed. And I also feel like I want to enhance that, because it's also what you bring to the table. Because that's why I wanted to make sure they feel like it's not a program, it's a person. And the program scales the person. So it's a partnership until success.
No, it's very important. I mean, you gotta keep practice. That's why they call it a practice, right? Dentistry, you got to keep doing it. So what have you personally gotten out of it? Besides, I mean, obviously it's a business, and you want to make a living and do. I understand that part, but I mean, hopefully it's more than just the money, so to speak. I mean, what do you get out of it?
Well, it's kind of interesting, because I could say, being in a profession or being focused on something for almost 20 years, it's like I get a tremendous amount out of it. And I think one of the biggest things is it's intellectually challenging, because I've noticed that if you pay attention, we are actually seeing the change of every generation. Every 5 to 10 years, the change in culture, the change in perception. That is really fascinating, that not a lot of people have. The success stories, I think it's a real privilege that, I can still connect with students that I've had 5, 10 years ago. I have students that come now from 5 to 10 years ago. And so that's why I started Dream Trainer, because I wanted to take what I was able to do for 1 to 200 every month for my career, and to turn it into 1 to 2 million, which I think I have the roadmap that will happen if done well. And I think to give that at scale is something that motivates me every day.
It's good. I'm sure. I mean, a lot of people are very thankful for what you do, and they're very happy that it's very inspirational. I mean, especially if it's been a hurdle for them, trying to get over that TOEFL test exam. I can only get a 90, or I can only get a 3 or a 4. I want to get that 5 and 6. I want to get up there higher and higher. I want to be more proficient. I want to show institutions that I am qualified. I can do a rigorous program. I'm going to be successful. But as you were saying, that confidence, if they don't believe it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and it's like an interesting thing, because we talked about overconfidence. So I think there's confidence, and then accepting the results that come with confidence that you can grow them. So it's not so much my confidence fights reality.
Right.
I should be better. I should have scored higher. This should be different. It shouldn't be as hard, which we all face. But the sense of, okay, that's the pain of what I see, but I know I can improve it. So I feel like that. And if I'm not going to do well, I'm going to not do well my best.
Okay. Well, thedreamtrainer.com. You got to go to that and see it, right? But I want to let's break it down a little bit. I mean, let's have some fun. All right, just kind of change the topic a
The whole
little
thing
bit.
was fun.
Yeah, no, it's been great, and I hope our listeners, they got something out of it, and at least got another tool to hopefully maybe utilize, and they may find helpful to bring them over that hurdle if they're having trouble. But I guess the most dangerous student is the one that doesn't know what they don't know.
What you don't know.
Exactly, and they don't think they have a problem. Once you realize and you accept that, hey, I need help, and I need to go to the right people that can help me or guide me to going along the way, because you're entering a new realm, and you got to figure out the right path for you to be successful. So, one word that describes your mindset.
I would say grit.
Grit?
Yeah,
all right.
Grit.
Yeah.
Grit, and then the second one would be curiosity.
All right. Not necessarily in that order.
No.
Okay, all right.
They bounce around.
All right. What's the biggest misconception about being successful?
Now, I see that it comes fast and easy.
Yeah, that's a big misconception. It doesn't.
I think it exists now, too.
Yeah.
It's like, I follow this framework, I follow this video, the next step is success.
But it's not necessarily.
No, it is not.
No, but people think that. Everybody wants a quick fix on things. They want the scratch ticket.
We all do.
Yeah, the instant gratification. I mean, the path of least resistance. It always looks attractive, but sometimes you waste time. So sometimes you just got to put it down, put your head down, and put the grit down, grin and bear it.
Yeah.
What's your morning routine?
My morning routine. I think now, because, and I remember we talked about this before too, but it's like, everything is high stakes right now. And so balancing family, balancing studies, balancing finances, balancing goals, balancing visions.
Our listeners have all those things too.
Yeah. Us, I feel the same way as well. We're all striving, I think. So for me, the morning routine that I've added is quiet time and meditation.
Okay.
To be in the right space.
In the right frame of mind.
Best. Yeah.
Right.
Because every day matters now. Every day matters.
So what motivates you?
I think scaling Dream Trainer. I think, just like we talked about before, I'm very proud and appreciative of this connection and the idea that, this is also a stepping stone to how do you put a professional and an expert behind the dental boards that everyone's guaranteed to pass? How do you put a professional behind graduation so you guarantee a job that matches the lifestyle that you wanted? That economic mobility at scale for adult professionals who are often overlooked is what motivates me.
So you're like an online mentor.
Yeah.
As simple as that, right? I mean,
well, we all are kind of now, right?
Yeah, we're all mentors, I guess so. Yeah. One message for students who want to give up.
Don't. That's it. Don't.
Simple. That's very simple. Don't give up.
Don't.
So if you have a dream,
go for it. Train for it.
Go to the dreamtrainer.com. Okay. All right. So let's go some closing statements here, okay? Let's just see what's going on here. So what legacy do you hope to leave through the Dream Trainer?
I think the biggest legacy is that there can be a very distinct pointing to that changed adult education. To be very clear, there was a time...
Or it may have changed someone's trajectory in life.
Adult education. And then, as a result, everyone's trajectory. Because for me, before, there was a time where you couldn't get refunds on products.
Right.
If a product didn't work, you couldn't get a refund. Then Costco, I think, started a big company that said you can refund. Everybody followed because that became the standard.
Right.
So the goal of Dream Trainer is
Setting the standard.
setting the standard that for adult professionals, education is a pathway to economic mobility. And if there's no economic mobility at the end of it, no increase in salary, no immediate connection to job, no other side of what I studied for, then that just doesn't happen anymore.
Right. No, that's powerful. Where do you see the educational and coaching evolving in the next 10 years from now?
Next 10 years. Well, it's interesting, it's like if I were to have a perspective, I would say one of the visions behind Dream Trainer 2 is because I kind of see that we're moving towards a place where professional expertise is secondary to brand and popularity. So I believe institutions that survive are the institutions that know how to market
and innovate,
and hopefully
innovate.
But I feel like marketing can even be a shortcut. Even if there's good enough marketing and not so much innovation, then you can perpetuate that. So I feel like it's a really important time to reestablish what expertise and mentorship is, so people continue to recognize, oh, that's the source of helping me to improve a skill to move my life forward. Like the human expert that cares and that has expertise.
So you're using the human expert with technology.
Yeah, to scale.
You're just enhancing it.
Yeah, giving the megaphone, the voice of the expert.
Right. Through technology and through the human connection. So it's not just
without losing it.
Right, without losing it. So the final message to our international students and professionals listening today. This is the final message, so give it to them.
Well, I would keep
Don't hold back, Joe. Give it all.
Well, I won't hold back, but I'll keep it really clean and simple.
Okay.
You will succeed, and it will take more work than you thought, but you will get there. So never give up.
Never give up. Never give up. That's the message for today. So, Joseph, thank you so much for coming on today. Very much appreciate it. I know our listeners appreciate it. Hopefully they got something out of this. Hopefully their dreams are still alive. Their enthusiasm, energy. I'll be reading more applications, I hope. I'm going to see more stories behind it.
Even better written.
Better written, and higher TOEFL scores. I'll see that.
I hope so. Yeah.
So check out thedreamtrainer.com. See if maybe it's a fit for you. Yeah. Other than that, thank you very much. This is Dr. Perry's podcast. Have a great day. Don't stop believing.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.